This podcast is going to analyse how national and global medias report about sport. I will be looking closely for the differences or patterns between the two and analysing the reasons for this. A city that has sport at the heart of it is Leeds. Leeds is represented in the top tier of football by United and the top tier of rugby league by the Leeds Rhinos. Reporting closely on these two teams is the Yorkshire Evening Post, so I will be comparing if they treat either differently and the reasons why that could be. And then I will compare Yorkshire Evening Post and the BBC, a global media. The data I will be comparing will be from the data sets that were provided to us. Firstly, I will compare how many times the keywords of football and rugby showed up in both news outlets. In the Yorkshire Evening Post, football showed up 527 times, and in rugby it was 183 times. Whereas on the BBC, football showed up 16,664 times, and rugby just a mere 1,098. This is a hugely greater number of news reports on football than rugby. The reason for this is because football is more popular, says Palacios. And the function of news reports is to entertain and gain as many readers as possible, says Rowe 2004. So it is in both BBC's and Yorkshire Evening Post's interest to promote football more, as this is going to attract more readers. These two medias don't make money from selling copies anymore. It's about selling their audience, which is why it is vital they publish stories that are going to attract the most readers. Hence why sport, and mainly football, dominates the news. The media sells the audience to companies as sponsorships and advertisements, so the more readers equals more profits, as they can charge more for the sponsor or advert. Because of the interest that sport has, it has become the fastest growing sector in the sponsorship by 69% from a study by IEG in 2012. The sports section of a newspaper is the most read part and the first place that readers tend to go to, says WANTA 2009. Companies are quick to have their name associated with top sports teams that get a lot of global media attention. Having looked into the two sports as a whole and seeing that football dominates both at a global and a national level, I am now going to narrow my comparison down and concentrate on Leeds Rhinos and Leeds United. I did a similar keyword search, but this time I used Leeds Rhinos and Leeds United on both Yorkshire Evening Post and the BBC. The results can be shown on screen. Lyson 2017 says that local papers favour and bias towards local athletes and their teams. The results from the search I did back up the point made by Lyson, as both United and Rhinos are mentioned over 3 times more in the Yorkshire Evening Post than in the BBC. It is in their interest to do this, as their readers are local and have more of an emotional attachment to these teams than others, says Cohen Harding 2008. Therefore, this is going to have a better chance of attracting them to reading their articles. On the other hand, the reason the BBC doesn't focus lots of its resources on these two teams is that it will only interest a small number of people, whereas they can focus on bigger teams and major events in the other sports that will create bigger interest and allowing them to be more global. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe.